Good morning. The study I'm going to talk about today is called Persistence of Supercompensated Muscle Glycogen in Trained Subjects After Carbohydrate Loading. In this study, they used 14 endurance cyclist males, measured their glycogen levels at the beginning, and then put them under a carbohydrate depletion program and then repletion program so that they could examine the results. But the main focus of the study was to see how long their muscles could continue to be supercompensated when they remained inactive following the post-loading. Anyway, talk a little bit about it. In the body, it's known that you can supercompensate muscle glycogen. You can also supercompensate liver glycogen, but they function a little bit differently. Your liver has an enzyme in it called glucose 6-phosphatase, and it will break apart those glycogen molecules, and you can separate it and use it as free glucose in the bloodstream. However, that enzyme is not very active in muscle cells, so they should be able to hold on to the glycogen a little bit longer. So all 14 subjects went into the lab 2 weeks before to start the program. A week before they actually started the program, they all had their muscle biopsies taken and blood samples drawn to examine the free fatty acids and the blood glucose concentrations and glycogen concentrations in the muscle. Then they went on their normal activity for another week, and during their 3-day depletion phase, the first day, they cycled for 115 minutes, and then at the end of it, they had 3 1-minute sprint sessions. Then over the next 2 days, they had a 40-minute workout. It was 35 minutes of cycling and then 3 sprints at the end of it for 1 minute, separated by 2 minutes of cycling at 0 watts. Then the loading, they gave them 583 grams of carbohydrates per day. Now all of these people in the study were approximately the same size, height, weight, and all of their dietary requirements for the study were provided for them. So then they loaded on glycogen for 3 days, and then they came back into the lab, and then they were examined again, and their their muscle glycogen concentrations had definitely gone up to 1.79, 1.59, and 1.75 times the baseline at days 1, 2, and 3 post-carbohydrate loading. And they remained that way for a few days after. Anyway, the conclusion of the study was that yes, you can increase your muscle glycogen concentrations for a minimum of 3 days following a depletion-repletion program, provided that you don't do any physical activity.